Good morning. Just had the quarterly media briefing with Local Government New Zealand. I presented on behalf of the Local Government Funding Agency, as we normally do. One of the things that we discussed this morning was the long-term plans and what that's actually meaning and our interpretation of that. Obviously early days yet, 78 council LTPs to wade through, but we're just starting to look at some of the high level observations on the sector. Really importantly, LGFA in the LTP years always gets a spurt in membership. So LGFA now is up to 58 council members. We're expecting another 4 or 5 in the coming year to join. That will take us up to 63 out of the 78 councils. One of the reasons for that is, of course, the increased debt or projected debt from councils as they go through the LTP process. And you've got to remember an increase in debt is because of an increase in infrastructure investment. So what we're seeing when we aggregate up the LTPs across the sector is that debt is going to, or projected to, increase from $16 billion currently up to $26 billion in 10 years' time. So fairly substantial increase, but it's not out of sync with the previous LTPs. We saw similar percentage increases with the 12-22 and the 15-25 LTPs. The big thing, though, for us this time is that it's not just the metro councils who are forecasting an increase in debt. It's a sector-wide issue. It's reflecting, I think, the fact that all councils, regardless of size, are focusing on the requirements from increased regulation, from the water, from growth as well. But also I think there's an increased willingness from both politicians and management at councils to get underway and get the infrastructure investment actually going. I think the other big thing for us that we've looked at, and you'll see that in one of the slides, is the fact that revenue is not keeping up with debt. So we've gone back for the last 16 years and debt across the sector has been increasing faster than the growth in operating revenue. And what that means is that it just highlights the fact that we need additional revenue sources for councils. And it's not just the metros or the high growth councils, it's actually across the entire sector. And then I think that's important for central government to work on. And I think the other issue too is that in the past councils have under-delivered on their infrastructure, largely due to capacity constraints. And I think both central government and local government have to work on solving some of those capacity constraints to ensure that the infrastructure is delivered over the next 10 years. Now, in coming quarters, we'll be focusing a little bit more on the LTPs and on the revenue side as well and some of the costs. But initially, we just wanted to focus on the debt side. So we can certainly provide some more observations at a later stage.